In the unpredictable world of pop music, artists can soar to the heights of superstardom, only to experience a sudden decline in popularity. In this video, we'll delve into the stories of the biggest fall-offs in pop music. Lorde. Lorde burst onto the music scene in 2013 with her debut single Royals, which topped the charts in multiple countries and earned her 2 Grammy Awards. It was a unique hit, going against the excess and luxury of that era of pop music. Her debut album Pure Heroine was a huge success, solidifying her status as a promising new talent. Her sophomore album Melodrama was one of the most critically acclaimed albums of the 2010s, and is often referred to as her magnum opus. It was commercially successful, debuting at number 1 with first week sales of 109,000 album equivalent units. Despite her initial success, Lorde struggled with her next album Solar Power, released in 2021. She ventured into indie folk and psychedelic styles. She calls it her weed album, but her gamble didn't pay off, as the album only debuted at number 5, selling 58,000 copies in its first week, becoming her lowest selling album. It polarized music critics and fans, as some loved it, but most thought it didn't live up to expectations. It was a huge blemish in her career. Even though Lorde remains as an acclaimed artist with a dedicated fan base, she has stayed quiet after her failure, leading us to question whether she can recapture the magic of her early career or have the times pass her by. LMFAO. LMFAO was a very popular duo in the early 2010s, consisting of Red Foo and Sky Blue. They achieved massive success in that era, with their party anthems ruling the charts. They released their breakout hit Party Rock Anthem in 2011. It was a huge hit, spending 6 weeks on number 1 after going viral on YouTube. It ended 2011 as the 3rd best-selling digital single in the world. Then they followed that up with another number 1 hit, Sexy and I Know It, from their album Sorry for Party Rockin'. They were on top of the music world, with their energetic performances and catchy tunes. As they were the kings of party music, it looked like they had a bright future, winning multiple awards, and even performing at the Super Bowl halftime show alongside Madonna, an honor even some of the most seasoned superstars have not achieved yet. But the good times were cut short because of tensions between Red Foo and Sky Blue, and changing trends in music caused the decline of LMFAO. The duo announced their breakup in 2012 and went on their solo journeys, but have failed to achieve the same level of success. The group has remained dormant since then. Red Foo is releasing music here and there, but Sky Blue has stepped back from music altogether, with his latest release coming close to a decade ago. Melanie Martinez. Melanie burst onto the pop music scene in the early 2010s and quickly built a dedicated fan base that propelled her to superstardom. She rose to prominence in 2012 when she appeared as a contestant on the 3rd season of The Voice. While she was eliminated in the later rounds, her quirky personality and soulful voice caught the attention of viewers. She then signed a record deal and released her debut EP Dollhouse in 2014. Then her debut studio album Crybaby followed in 2015 and solidified her status as a rising star in the pop music world. The album received positive reviews from critics and spawned several hit singles, Playdate and Soap. It is now one of the most streamed albums of that year, with a total of 4.9 billion streams on Spotify. Despite her early success, her career took a turn for the worse in late 2017 when she faced allegations of sexual assault. A former friend and fellow musician accused her of engaging in non-consensual sexual activity, sparking a wave of controversy and backlash. The allegations tarnished her reputation and led to widespread condemnation. While she maintained her innocence, the damage was already done. In the years since the controversy, she has continued to release music and tour. Her subsequent albums K-12 and After School received mixed reviews from critics and failed to replicate the commercial success of Crybaby, as Melanie navigates the challenges of rebuilding her image, with her latest album Portals coming in 2023. The album performed decent on the charts, but only time will tell if she can get back to the level she was at in the mid-2010s, but I doubt it. Leona Lewis. Leona rose to fame as the winner of the third season of the X Factor UK in 2006. Her powerhouse voice and emotional ballads quickly made her a household name. She reached the pinnacle of her career with the release of her debut single Bleeding Love in 2007. This song, with its soaring vocals and powerful lyrics, catapulted her to international superstardom, topping the charts in numerous countries around the world, including the United States and the UK. The song became one of the best-selling singles of the decade and earned her a Grammy nomination for Record of the Year. Following the success of the song, she released her debut album Spirit later that year. The album debuted on number 1 on the UK Albums chart, making her one of the biggest rising stars of the late 2000s. Despite the success of her debut album, she struggled to maintain the momentum, while her next albums, including Echo in 2009 and Glass Heart in 2012, received positive reviews from critics. They failed to match the commercial success of her debut. She also faced challenges in the music industry, including changes in her management and label disputes. She struggled to recapture the magic of her early career, despite releasing several singles over the years. Leona's star power faded, with her latest album I Am coming in 2015. Since then, she has shifted her focus away from music and towards other creative pursuits like acting. Her days as a chart-topping pop star seem to be behind her. Jason Derulo. Jason Derulo burst onto the music scene in 2009 with his debut single What You Say, which topped the charts in multiple countries. His catchy bops and charisma made him a rising star in the pop music world. He experienced his peak in the early 2010s with a series of chart-topping hits that dominated the airwaves, including In My Head, Riding Solo, and Talk Dirty, solidifying his status as a hitmaker. His self-titled debut album was released in 2010 and reached the top 10 of the Billboard 200, spawning multiple platinum-selling singles. Despite his early success, he began to stagnate in the mid-2010s as he struggled to replicate the chart-topping hits that had defined his early career. While he continued releasing music and toured extensively, his singles failed to generate the same level of excitement. His formulaic approach to songwriting and production became stale and predictable. He tried to come back in the late 2010s, hopping onto TikTok early, where his dance challenges and viral videos garnered huge views, becoming one of the most followed artists on the app. In recent years, he has continued to release music and hop on to the biggest trends to prolong his career, but his mainstream success has waned significantly. He released his latest album New King in 2024, which opened at number 82 on the Billboard 200, selling just 12,000 copies in his first week, which makes it a flop. Jason has tried to keep up with this generation, but it looks cringy. Tayo Cruz. Tayo Cruz experienced his career peak in the late 2000s with a series of chart-topping singles that cemented his status as one of pop music's brightest stars. His breakout hit Break Your Heart, released in 2009, became one of the best-selling singles of the year. He followed that up with a string of hit singles, including Dynamite and Higher, all of which achieved chart success. His sophomore album Rockstar, released in 2009, reached the top 10 of the Billboard 200, spawning multiple hit singles. This earned him numerous awards and nominations, including a Brit Award for Best British Breakthrough Act. Despite his early success, his career began to decline in the early 2010s as he struggled to maintain momentum and recapture the chart success of his early releases. He then released his next album TYO in 2011, which had a lesser impact, and is still his latest album. Since then, he has maintained a low profile in the music industry, with occasional live performances. He has not released new music since 2019, and has been inactive in music for more than a decade. Gaultier captured the world's attention in 2011 with his breakout single Somebody I Used to Know, featuring New Zealand singer Kimbra. The song became a global phenomenon and topped the charts in over 25 countries, including the United States and the UK. The song's unique blend of indie pop, alternative rock, and pop resonated with audiences worldwide, earning Gaultier widespread acclaim and accolades, including 3 Grammy Awards. The success of the song catapulted his album Making Mirrors to international acclaim, with the album reaching the top 10 on the charts around the world. Following the unprecedented success of the song, Gaultier struggled with the pressures of fame and notoriety. After releasing additional singles and touring extensively, he stepped back from the spotlight and went on a break. After that, he went back to making music with his band The Basics. In 2024, Gaultier and Kimbra released a remix of their huge hit entitled Somebody 2024. It was not a comeback, just a nostalgic nod. Janet Jackson. Janet's career reached its apex in the late 1980s and early 1990s, during which she released a string of critically acclaimed albums and scored numerous chart-topping hits. Albums like Control in 1986, Rhythm Nation 1814 in 1989, and Janet in 1993 showcased her versatility as an artist and solidified her status as a pop icon. Songs like Nasty, Rhythm Nation, That's the Way Love Goes, and Together Again dominated the airwaves and topped the charts, earning Janet multiple Grammy Awards and establishing her as one of the most influential artists of her time. In addition to her musical achievements, her boundary-pushing music videos and dynamic stage presence set her apart from her peers. Despite her success, her career experienced a decline in the early 2000s. The infamous Nipplegate incident during her halftime performance at the 2004 Super Bowl, in which Justin Timberlake briefly exposed her breasts on live TV, led to widespread backlash and tarnished her reputation for some reason. Following the Super Bowl controversy, she faced unneeded scrutiny from the media and encountered challenges in her career. Since then, she released 3 albums, 20-Year-Old, Discipline, and Unbreakable, which were all commercial disappointments. While her chart-topping days may be behind her, Janet Jackson is now a legacy artist as she continues to inspire and empower audiences around the world. What fall-offs did I miss? Tell me in the comments below.